How much does it actually cost to fly from Atlanta to Japan? Hi everyone, I'm Emmy from Been to Japan. Today we're going to be comparing flights from 2 months in advance, 4 months in advance, and 6 months in advance to see which booking window has the cheapest flights. How much does nonstop flights cost? Which seat classes are still available? Whether premium economy is still worth it? And which flight I'd actually book. Let's see if planning ahead really saves you some money. A quick disclaimer before we begin. I am not a travel agent. These are simply the prices available at the time of us recording this video today. Flight prices change constantly based on demand, availability, seasons, and many other factors, so your results may vary. This is simply how I personally search for flights for our family during our trips to Japan. All right, let's book a flight to Japan today. Let's start with booking about 2 months. So we're flying from Atlanta, Georgia, and we're going to be flying out 2 months in advance. Let's do October 4th. Most people will probably return within 2 weeks. Let's go with the 15th and search. Okay, so we have the cheapest economy flight at $11.51, which is not bad comparatively to what we've searched in the past, which I'm going off of that anchor of $1,500 in Chicago, that Chicago flight that we booked last time. So let's look at the flight time. Where's the cheapest flight are you seeing here? 11:51. Oh, Zip Air again. So let's just go with the best one. Let's go back to the best. So we see Air Canada, $14.98. Total travel time is 20 hours and 10 minutes. And it includes a 1 stop in Toronto. And it's a 4-hour layover. Let's keep going. There's a lot of like 30-hour flights. I'm gonna go and see if there's any that are like nonstop. Okay, so there's one nonstop that's 14 hours on Delta from Atlanta to Haneda. I would probably book this one. It's $2,400 though. Yikes, that's expensive. That's like at the price of a premium economy from Chicago. So, but it's nonstop though. That's nice. Let's see. Let's just see if there's just 1 stop or fewer. Okay, so again, they're all flying to Narita up here. There's one that is that $2,400 one that we saw is here. Just looking to see if there's any others that stand out to me. I will like to see if we can switch it to Haneda. Because if you watch in the previous episode, I actually talk about traveling to Haneda versus Narita. $16.97 is the lowest priced one right now. And it's 19 hours and 40 minutes travel time. Yikes. 2-hour travel time to Toronto. And then you have a 4-hour layover in Toronto, which is not bad. Considering like you probably take some time to stretch out your legs, and then you can be on the long haul international flight for like about 14 hours. So $69.7 is still a little higher than expected. And as you can see, according to Google, prices are currently high. Fall time is actually a popular time to travel to Japan. So that could be one of the reasons why it's more expensive. Okay, so now we see that the lowest price here is $16.97 for Haneda, but let me just go back to Tokyo. $14.98 to travel to Narita. Or $13.77. See, that's just like too much time right there. 37 hours and 30 minutes. Like I would not recommend that at all. So I would definitely go with the Haneda one because, okay, so this one's $14.98 to travel to Narita. But if we go back to the Haneda one, $16.97. So it's about a couple $100 more, and you're traveling to Haneda and it's only 19 hours versus whatever hours it was on the previous one. 19 hours and 40 minutes. Let me just double check. 19 hours and 40 minutes, $16.97. And then we go back to Narita and it's 37 hours and 30 minutes. for $13.77. That's crazy. That's $320 for 18 more hours travel time. If you'd rather spend another $300 just to avoid the additional 18 hours of travel time, I would do it. That's 18 hours you could be spending more time in Japan. So like, that's a no-brainer. And you don't have to pay for that trip back from Narita to Tokyo proper. You're going to be taking a taxi or taking the train from Haneda to Tokyo proper, which is a 30-minute train ride or 30-minute commute versus the hour commute from Narita. So considering that 30-hour travel time, you're like, do you want to travel another hour? I'd rather just do another 30 minutes to get to Tokyo proper and be done and be in Tokyo. So I would book the $16.97 on Air Canada, 19 hours and 40 minutes, one stop for $16.97. That's what I would go with. Now let's see what premium economy gets us. $3,500. No. That's the cheapest flight, right? $3,512, and we've seen it on the Chicago flight. It was $2,500. So considering that it's farther away from Tokyo, it makes sense. But yeah, I wouldn't go with that. That's a lot of money. But if you're, flying for that long of a time, and this is something that you've been wanting to fly to Japan forever, and you have the funds and you've saved up enough to travel in comfort, like, I would recommend it, because that way you have more legroom, a wider seat, more reclining space. So yeah, that's something that you have to consider, the extra cost while you're budgeting for your Japan trip. Okay, now let's look. We already looked at the cheapest nonstop flight, which was, there's only one nonstop actually that we saw here. It's on the Delta flight. Oh my God. Oh, this is premium economy. Whew. Premium economy is $4,800. So that we know now, that we won't book. Economy is $2,400. So that is the cheapest nonstop flight to Tokyo in October. So I think we're going to go ahead and start doing the booking to see what seats are available for the flight that we wanted. So the $16.97 flight, the 19 hours and 40 minutes. Let's see what seats are available for this flight. Leaving Japan at 6 sounds reasonable. We'll go stick with that. No refunds. So that's something to consider, but you do get one free carry-on, of course. You also get a first checked bag free, so that's great. Let's go and see what Air Canada is all about. Oh, do we want economy flex? Do we want to upgrade? Oh, seat selection applies with the economy standard. We don't need to upgrade. For this purpose, we're just gonna book with the less expensive option. Okay, let's see what seats are available here. I would rather be able to walk around the plane, even though it's a 2-hour flight for this one. Okay, let's see what else is here. Okay, so now let's move on to booking 4 months out before departure and then see how that changes anything. December 4th through the 17th, that's 4 months out, roughly. Okay, looks like we have $16.69 for Air Canada again. There's a $13.85 for a 32-hour total travel time on Turkish Airlines. One layover, that's a 10-hour stop, which not ideal. What else is out there? Okay, so again, I think I'm gonna go to Haneda first. Okay, Scandinavian Airlines, $14.55, which was less than the $16.97 that we originally looked at. And then there's a non-stop, again, was $18.63, which was a little more than the $16.97, and it's on Delta. So I wonder if we book the Delta one, because it's non-stop and you're flying to Haneda. Let's just see, because that's what I would book, honestly. Okay, so return flight 425, 255, yep. $18.63. No seat selection. Last aboard. Yeah, okay. Let's just see what the total price is going to be. See, this is where it's tricky because you board last and there's limited availability in the overhead bin space. Seat is assigned after check-in. That is a lot. I don't know if I would be okay with that. So let's just go back here. And I think, honestly, I would pay more to be able to pick my seat. So if you're okay with not having to be able to pick a seat, then saving, you know, about $400 to do that, like, that's probably something you can pick. But again, look, there's so many fees that are considered into it. Like, there's $178 to get your bags checked in. So I feel like you might as well just go with a Delta Main Classic, because that way you can either pick your seat and then you can get your first checked bag free. So that's what I would probably try to go with. So let's just try, yeah, because see, you can't even like pick your seat right now. So you got to upgrade to select seats. So let's just see what seats are available for 4 months out. Oh, there's actually quite a bit. There goes the fees, $110 per passenger. I'm going to go with Delta Main. I personally would think I would want to go behind the exit row because I feel like the exit row seats are like not that great. I mean, you guys in the comments let me know because I just didn't care for it. Okay, let's see. Let's just stick with the main. Oh, it's still an exit seat. Oh, what the heck? Okay, let's do this one. Let's go back to the first flight because I think I accidentally selected. I don't want to sit in the exit row, so I went back and changed it. So now I'm back in the main cabin, and then let's see what the price is. Okay, so still $22.82 versus what could be $1,800. Again, each seat upgrade was like $109, right? So if you add the $109 plus the $170 first checked bag fee, that's $280 as it is. Again, you're paying for each seat for 2 flights because you're accounting for the departure flight and then the return flight, right? So it's like basically 280 times 2. That's $560. So you might as well pay for the main cabin for $22.82 or $22.83 because your first bag is included. And then your seat, your standard seat is basically paid for or accounted for in the price. Because if you were to pay for it, like just the basic $1,863, like the basic ticket price, you're paying extra $560 total just to get your first checked bag for each flight and your seat for each flight. So just something to keep in mind as you're going through and booking. It's probably worth paying a little or upgrading to the main classic to get those included if you're booking with Delta. The same thing goes with all Air Canada. So I would probably choose the main classic, or at least, you know, calculate which one you think you may not need. Like, hey, like I may not want a first check bag, so I might just have a carry-on, which I don't know how you would do because you're probably going to have to pack a bunch of stuff when you're coming from Japan. You're going to be shopping. There's so much to get from Japan. It might make your trip worth it. So that's what stood out for us for the 2 months out and the 4 months out, right? Now let's look at 6 months before departure and see how that changes anything. So that takes us into February 24th through the 17th. Liking the prices so far. $8.99. Again, season, right? Taking account into seasons that we're traveling in Japan. So February is actually in the cooler. It's still winter, right, in Japan. So the temperatures are going to probably be in the 40s and 50s. So it's definitely much cheaper to fly. And you're probably going to be packing a lot of like cold weather clothes. So you might want to check your first bag because you're going to be packing more heavier duty clothes. So we see the cheapest flight here is Air Canada, $8.99 again. So let's go ahead and try to find nonstop. Our favorite, a Delta flight to Haneda nonstop. Let's see if there's any other nonstop option. Yep, so this is the only nonstop, and it's now the price has changed to $17.63. Weird. Let's go back. $17.63. So let's just select this because, again, it's flying to my favorite airport, Haneda. You're going to be landing in Tokyo proper, or at least traveling to Tokyo proper quickly from Haneda. So I think that's what we'll go with. And then there's one stop here. What is this one? Oh, Minneapolis. Okay. Not ideal, but again, okay, as we've learned, we should probably go with the Delta Main Classic because first check bag is free and you get standard seating and you can also pick your seat, right? $15.87, which was cheaper than the previous flights, $16.97 that we looked at. Let's see, $15.86. Okay, so now let's select our seats. See what seats are available. Plenty of seats options, so that's wonderful. Our return flight. Plenty of seats available on the return flight. Love it. Okay, so total ends up being $15.86.53. Direct flight from Atlanta to Haneda, so that's wonderful. But the flight back, you do have one stop in Minneapolis, which is fine. But at least it's the most affordable, and at least it's nonstop going to. And it's the most affordable because of the season that you're traveling in is in February. So something to keep in mind as you're booking out. But it might be a lot rainier too. But and then December we'll have a lot of Christmas lights and things. So it might be nice and cheery to go in December. But I think overall, I would probably book the flight in February because it's the most overall cost-effective trip and there's a direct nonstop flight. I hope this helps make planning your trip to Japan a little easier. If there's another city that you'd like us to search from, let us know in the comments because it might be featured in a future episode. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow Been to Japan for more tips on flights, hotels, food, and family travel throughout Japan. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Mata ne!